You're listening to Champion Cinema with Chris and Chris.
Hello, folks, and welcome to Champion Cinema. I've got a cracker for you this week. I'm Chris with a Chris C.
Christopher, the one. I'm Christopher with a Mortal Kombat K.
Mortal Kombat K?
Because that's basically what we're reviewing. Mortal Kombat.
Oh, pretty much, yeah.
In many sense of the word.
Or vintage Bloodsport, as I like to call it. Yeah, we're wrapping up Van Damme month with our final double bill of The Quest, Van Damme's directorial debut, and Maximum Risk, the first time he worked with Mr. Ringo Lam.
Very different films.
Yeah, it's been a fun month, though.
Yeah.
Doing some Van Damme. It's been a while since we've done a theme month. I think was the last one like the John Woo month?
Yeah,
I guess
think it
technically,
was, yeah.
as far as like an actor or director goes.
But no, I've enjoyed it. I mean, I think that the easy choice would have been to do, like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Universal Soldier,
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I've enjoyed the more like off-piste Van Damme-age.
Yeah, we've still got a lot more of those to go. These like later straight-to-video ones, which, like I've said, some of them are really entertaining. So
Yeah.
they're all better than Black Eagle. I'll put it that way.
Well,
Well, I might be, there's that one called Derailed, which is fucking awful. But that might be a good review for us.
Oh no, it's not the worst one.
It's just got it's just very cheap. And it's all like, it's basically like Die Hard on a Train. It's Under Siege 2. It's like a rip-off of Under Siege 2 from what I remember. So that's not, you can't rip off Under Siege 2. But I just remember, there's like, every fight scene I remember is like incomprehensible. You can't tell what the fuck's going on. And there's just awful, like, tiny little model train shots. It's really bad.
Sounds like Van Damme directed it.
Oh, come on. don't get your fucking clothes out on the last show.
Champion Cinema.
So The Quest was released in 1996, runs for 1 hour and 34 minutes, directed by Jean-Claude Van Damme in his directorial debut. It stars Jean-Claude Van Damme as Christopher Dubois, Roger Moore as Edgar Dobbs, James Remar as Maxie Devine, Janet Gunn as Carrie Newton, Jack McGee as Harry Smythe, Abdel Kisi as Khan, and Rolly Birkin QC as Old Van Damme. Come on. He looks exactly like Rolly Birkin QC. I just kept my word from him be like, long time ago, fighting, small men acting like a monkey.
Very, very drunk.
So what's The Quest all about?
Well, I've not prepared a synopsis this week. I thought I would freestyle it, much like how they made this movie. Just kidding. Well, picture this. Van Damme, Chris Dubois, is a street criminal who also acts as a street clown on the side.
Yeah.
He stumbles into an underground martial arts tournament, and along the way he encounters pirates, guns, smugglers, and a con artist played by Roger Moore.
Yes.
It's basically like Mortal Kombat meets Enter the Dragon meets Street Fighter meets Bloodsport.
It's all of a twist.
Yeah, but all of them elements, but just none of the good stuff.
No, it's one of those things where like, you look at what the ingredients, like it just has all the ingredients of like one of those fucking Hollywood disasters, doesn't it? Like you got a martial arts star who's decided to direct his first movie, and his first movie just happens to be a big budget period set martial arts movie.
Yeah.
And it just like, it's not, I don't think it's a disaster. It's not like a fucking, like some of those, like, Cutthroat Island or something like that. But it's a weird movie, though. It feels like an epic that doesn't have a long running time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that too. It's like, it's a short epic that feels long. It's like all over the shop. There was times, at one point, I was like, how long is this film? And I checked and was like, oh my God. Like, I feel like I've been watching it for an hour. But like, it's also too short for what it's trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
It's a strange film.
Yeah, when I was watching, I was like, unless there's like, because the ending where like it reveals that it's all been a book called The Quest, written by the journalist character. I was like, unless there's a fucking 2 hour plus version of Vault somewhere, that ending with a book doesn't feel earned. It just feels like they were standing around going, oh, how can we end it though? And someone's like, hold on, Absolutely. It ends with a book close and it's called The Quest, and everyone went, oh, that's good, but they didn't fucking figure out a way to like make it make sense.
Into it, no.
And like that character, the like journalist character, once she's introduced, she becomes like an extra in the background.
She does nothing, doesn't she?
She just disappears.
Yeah, she just stands there and pulls facial reactions, basically.
Correct us if I'm wrong. I might have been like, losing like concentration, but I'm pretty sure it should, like, for the last half an hour, she doesn't have any lines.
Quite possibly not, apart from just motivational shouts here and there.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe she shouts his name a few times. Yeah, yeah. I tell you who she's not as good as, though.
Who?
Fucking James Remar.
Oh,
This
James
film.
Remar.
I genuinely laughed out loud at multiple times.
There was a few moments. The bit I like, his favorite addition to the film is basically describing the kung fu styles for all the confused mums in the audience.
He's fighting, but like an animal.
Yeah, I just imagine like someone's mum watching it going, what's he doing? What's he doing with all these arms for? He's like, oh, he's pretending to be a snake. Oh, a snake, I see.
It's pretty bad.
know.
Poor James Remar.
I know.
Like, it makes him look like a bad actor, this film. It's like,
It weirdly does, and he's not either. Because I quite liked his character. It's just some of his lines and some of his, like, I don't know whether it's just his delivery or the takes they chose. Because, yeah, it does make him come across like, if you didn't know who he was, you'd be like, who the fuck's he?
Yeah, because there's a bit like, I mean, there's a few bits actually where he kind of goes, come on!
Yeah.
And it's like in slow motion or something. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And then there's just times he just goes full bloody. Oh, for Christ, I forgot the character's name in Star Wars. The Boyega. He goes full Boyega in Star Wars. He's just going, Christopher.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of the film, that's all he does. He just shouts the name, just like basically like what he does when he shouts Ray in Star Wars.
Don't know if you felt this, but because you rarely hear our name in movies, it was weird. To hear people constantly going Christopher all the time. I kept if I was like just looking at my phone, I kept going like what?
Yeah, it is weird hearing people saying, especially the Sunday name as well. Like Christopher.
The Christopher.
It's it's weird.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to that thing with the book, I read this while I was watching the movie on the trivia on IMDb. I was like, I can't wait to see that. Did you notice the second paragraph in the page in the book is just about luxury yachts?
Oh, really? No, I didn't clock what it said.
The first paragraph is like, this is the story of a young man who went on a journey, blah, blah, blah. Our luxury yacht.
Weird.
Like if you can have I know like you see that all the time in like newspapers and movies where like everything else on the page is like just some bollocks and stuff like that. Yeah. But if you've got it's your final shot.
You have to have a bit
just
from
make,
the film.
Make an entire fake. Yeah, make an entire fake page.
Like low fucking effort.
Why just be like, people are only gonna read the top bit? Like,
because it's not like. You know, like once upon a time, you could excuse that sort of stuff by going, well, you know, they shot it for TV and they assume no one would be able to read the words on the screen.
Yeah. But
it's not like that in this because it's obviously, it would have been played on the silver screen and you'd quite easily be able to capture.
And video.
What's said, yeah.
Anything pre-video that does that, I'm like, they didn't know people were going to be rewinding and pausing shit all the time. But
they haven't got that excuse apart from, and I have heard this about this movie before, disorganized.
Oh yeah,
very like mismanaged sort of stuff that was going on set.
I was gonna say, yeah, even though it wasn't like one of those like utter disasters, there was problems on set, obviously, and like Moore apparently fucking hated working on it. He didn't like Van Damme at all. So.
Yeah, did I say he like after the movie was completed and things like years later or whatever, he described Jean-Claude Van Damme as Jean-Claude venereal disease. Which is quite harsh.
That's harsh, Rog.
Yeah. But apparently he was a gentleman on set, though.
Oh, that's just Roger Moore, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's not gonna like. If a production's already like a bit of a shambles, I doubt he's going to be the kind of guy to make it worse by complaining. He's just like, I'll just wait till I'm home.
Yeah, totally, bless him.
And then I'll fucking call you out in my book.
My autobiography.
Yeah, that's one of the, I really wish I'd get a copy of that for this show, just because I'm sure it's a fucking fascinating read anyway with his life, but I just want to know like the behind how much he talks about this movie in it, because I imagine it's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a strange movie. It's such a shame because I mean the amount of money they've spent on it. And I don't just mean like a high budget. I just mean like there's times where you can see the money on the screen. Like there's a bit in the movie where the ship gets like two ships fight, and and the swashbuckling, everyone's swinging onto the other ship and stuff.
Yeah,
and you just think, God Almighty, how much planning and cost and stuff. Like they're really filming on location and stuff.
Well, that's what I found interesting. I mean, I didn't dig too deep, but normally Wikipedia is a good place to find out budgets and stuff. This just has box office. It doesn't actually have the budget list. I'm like, that's funny. I wonder how much it costs.
Hard to track down with all the independent finance and going on and stuff.
Yeah, I wonder. It's strange.
Yeah, shit.
I was going to say there's like some familiar faces in here from movies we've been talking about recently, like Abdel Kisi, who plays the bad guy. He was the bad guy, the main big bad in Lionheart as well. Just looks very different here without the big curly hair and stuff.
Yeah, is that the guy that basically played Prince Goro, basically?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's all I could think of throughout the entire movie. It's just
Yeah.
like, it's just fucking Goro. He's just
Just
got
human Goro.
He's even got the same hairstyle and everything.
does.
And he breaks the back of some poor little martial artist guy who's like friends of the main fighters.
Yeah, he does. They basically try and do the bit in Bloodsport where Jackson gets battered by Bolo Young, but there's no drama to it because, like,
Who cares?
Van Damme acts like it's his best mate. I'm like, you've interacted with him like once half an hour ago.
We missed the friendship over those 6 months that the time skipped, basically.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It feels like there's about 45 minutes in a vault somewhere that would make this much more like flow better, like dramatically. Yeah. We've also got Peter Malota, that Spanish fighter who was the Spurs guy in Double Impact.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
One guy who isn't in anything we've watched recently, but I remember him from like the Impact magazine days. Mike Lambert. He plays the Scottish fighter.
Okay.
He was in a bunch of like Hong Kong movies around this time, and he used to write like articles for Impact back in the day and stuff. But I was just checking his recent work. He works as a fight choreographer now. Jeez, he's doing well.
Yeah, really.
He's worked on like anything with fights in Hollywood over the past 10 years. He's been on like Batman, Star Wars, shit like that. So
good on him.
Good for him, yeah. And Koji Katao, who plays the sumo guy.
Right, nice. He was a wrestler, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a real life sumo champ as well before he was a wrestler. And I only really know that from his terrible reputation as a pro wrestler when he tried to shoot on Earthquake.
Yeah. I don't think I know didn't he get some massive push around like Mania 6 or 7 or something and then just fucking disappeared basically.
No, he was never in WWF. That's the thing.
Oh, was it not? I thought
this was like a WWF, and I can't remember which. It was some Japanese promotion did a cross-promotion show in Japan. So it was like WWF guy against Japanese wrestler. And I think he was a bit like put out by Earthquake because like back before John Tenta, Earthquake was a wrestler. He was a sumo in Japan, like one of the few Western sumos. So I think he was just a bit annoyed him, just tried to like poke his fucking eye out during the match.
Oh dear.
And then kicking him in the legs and shit. And then he just stormed out the ring, grabbed the mic and said in Japanese, "This is fucking bullshit. Wrestling is fake." And I don't think he ever worked again.
Oh dear.
In wrestling, yeah.
No, I remember he died, didn't he? Quite young, like in his 50s or something.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't say he died.
Yeah, bless him. But sadly, it's no surprise with lots of weight problems and stuff that these guys have. It's just not natural to be that big.
I mean, I wonder if he went back to being a sumo after he quit pro wrestling because he wasn't as big as he is here when he was a wrestler.
True.
So he maybe put the weight back on.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
become a sumo again. Yeah, but that's for the action stuff. I've got to say, the one interesting, I don't think I've ever seen in a movie before, Monkey Kung Fu versus Capoeira. So that was quite interesting.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, okay, put aside the fucking ridiculous stereotype fights where they're just like, man from Scotland and comes out in a kilt and ginger hair.
That was funny. It's like, what's his fighting style? Like, just fucking chinning people. I don't know.
Pub fight, basically.
Yeah.
But then you got like the Spanish guy going like, ole, and stuff. Fucking the Brazilian guy comes out and literally they're saying, ole, ole.
I thought that was funny. Yeah. I was like, that just doesn't, for something about, I don't know, but something about that doesn't feel like time correct.
It's just like very strange. But put aside the stereotypes, what they were trying to do is really good. Like different martial arts styles facing off. And I think there's something to that. I would like to see this movie done again, but better. Where there's like some big tournament and we get to see, and it's on an island. Just do like Mortal Kombat again, but do it proper this time.
Yeah.
And have like, and showcase martial arts from around the world and stuff. So I did appreciate that stuff. Yeah. But I'm just, it's sad to say, but I don't think Van Damme has the directing chops to capture the action because I don't think he did the fighters justice or anything in the actual fights. It's something about it. The camera was just pulled back and it just kind of, I don't know, I didn't get anything from the fights, really.
I don't know, I thought a lot of them got to show off this stuff, especially the Kung Fu guy and the Capoeira guy.
That stuff, like they're doing the quick stuff, but I just think the fights themselves, it's very bland. Just like filming them, and the guys themselves were good, but the actual way it was shot and stuff, there wasn't much to it. It's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's not like amazing directorial debut, but I think for a guy who's basically just he's been around films for about a decade at this point, and using what he's picked up, I don't think it's for the scale of it. I don't think it's a terrible job he does directing.
It's probably like quite overwhelming, all the stuff that all the different locations and stuff.
Yeah,
There was a particular bad bit, like when you first see the Carrie Newton character,
yeah.
and like the framing's all weird. He like
Oh, I
films her from the
noticed.
chin up.
Yeah, that was odd. Yeah, I noticed that as well. I was like, go down, move the camera down.
Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's like I think the locations and the costumes and stuff covered a lot of the problems of this movie.
Yeah.
Like it looks quite good, so your mind's tricked into thinking like it's quite well made. But
Well, that's probably it.
you know what I mean? Because the locations and stuff are crazy. Some of the shots in this film, like mountain ranges in the background and big deserts. And,
I did see, checking the cast, it has the same cinematographer as Nowhere to Run.
okay.
So that's why the film looks like $1 million.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah. Because that was a nice looking movie, Nowhere to Run.
I did laugh that like Van Damme basically has a different costume on every scene. So if you like watch the movie, you could do a drinking game. Every time Van Damme changes costume, you've got to take a drink. You'd be pissed.
I tell you one thing, I was not a fan. I remember like even just seeing pictures of this when it was coming up magazines and going, oh, I don't like how he looks. Like his fighting outfit, he's got like little hot pants on and some pit boots and a vest. I'm like,
Yeah.
he looks like he's just come from like the fucking pit, basically. I don't know.
It kind of goes like a bit guilish. At the
Yeah.
end, really. Like
Yeah.
that's what was making us think with the little strappy vest on and the shiny muscles and the short hair. I was thinking like proper feels like Street Fighter 2. Like the movie at the end when he's fighting M. Bison.
Yeah.
Yeah, strange film.
I mean, what did you think of old Rog in it, Roger Moore?
Oh, Roger Moore's a gent and does what he needs to do and gets out of there.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they're my favorite kind of actors, though. That like especially when you know they've had a shit time on set and didn't enjoy who they were working with, where they were working,
Yeah.
or the shoot, and you can't tell in the performance. There's nothing about Roger Moore in this the way he looks like, oh fucking, I can't wait to get out of here.
That's why I wonder, not to throw shade at James Remar, but I wonder if James Remar doesn't quite have that approach to acting. And maybe he was just thinking, fuck, this film's a disaster.
I know.
And so that's why like his performance comes over as like weird and hammy.
Mate, but it honestly feels like he was trying to do like the old-fashioned transatlantic accent acting style
possibly,
of the
I
time, and
suppose.
it just didn't come across.
No, I
Maybe,
suppose.
or you may be right. Maybe he was just like halfway through shoot, he was like, "Oh, this is gonna be shit." I'm just gonna. But then again, I don't know. I question actors who would do that because you'd want to be remembered as the best part of a crap movie, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
why
Not that,
would
not,
you?
Not that I would. Not that I would say it's crap.
No.
It's basically, we're benchmark for crap here is Black Eagle.
Yeah, exactly. It's
So
not Black Eagle crap.
Exactly. I'm going to be careful what I say about it because it's not Black Eagle.
I did laugh though. So Jack McGee, who also kind of dials it in a little bit, bless him.
Yeah.
But like, there's a shot right at the end of the film. I can't remember what's said, but like Roger Moore seems to like set up like a bit of a line. He says something and walks off camera, and
Yeah.
Jack McGee closely follows him, and it looks like Jack McGee's like gonna say something, but then he kind of shrugs his shoulder and also walks off camera.
Yeah.
And I just like joked to Stacey when we were watching it. I was saying like Jack McGee was clearly just like, fuck off. And he just was like, I'm not going to say the line, fuck off. And like Van Damme's behind the camera go, hey Jack, no, say the line. And he's like, no, fuck you. I'm not, that's it, I'm done. And he just left. That was him done on the movie. That's my headcanon.
Did you see that? I don't know if it's true. It might be from Roger Moore's book, but the trivia on IMDb that says Jack McGee after every take would fart.
Yeah, loudly fart.
And Roger Moore thought it was hilarious, and Van Damme was like, "Stop it!"
He just did the shout from Double Impact.
Oh, every take, yeah, just blew his throat out doing that shit. Yeah. Or I like to believe it started off quiet through the day, and the last take was that scream. Just fucking lost at the end of the day. So yeah, that's the quest. It's worth a watch.
Yeah, because I don't want to completely shit on it. Like I said, I like the idea, and it's a shame that we don't get more time with it. Like I like the idea of Dubois, being sold into slavery, but then turning back up as this like fucking Muay Thai badass and stuff.
That was a great moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like stuff like that. If they could have just harnessed more of that, and just somehow found a way to do it in a different way.
I'm sure there must be. No, none of the releases have, but I'm sure there must be a fuckload of deleted scenes from this.
Yeah, it has to have been, right?
Yeah, it just feels like it, and like it's almost dead on 90 minutes. So it feels like get it cut down with 90 minutes type of movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just the way things move along, it takes 50 minutes to get to the tournament.
Well, that's it.
And then it doesn't get started till the hour mark or something. And then the film's over half an hour later. And you're like, it's a fucking movie about tournaments.
The old man stuff at the start didn't need to happen. Him fighting some random little gang didn't need to happen. Him dressed as a clown.
It's like
fucking didn't need to happen.
There's too many ideas, and he just didn't want to get rid of any ideas.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Well, you should have just stripped it all out. Set up the start of the movie as like he gets into trouble by the police. He gets sold into slavery. Boom, the movie starts.
Once again, that's just it could be a common mistake with like directing something you've had a hand in writing. You don't want to get rid of any of your ideas.
Yeah.
Even if it makes the story better. It's just like, no, I want it in there. So.
Yeah, you just can't see. Yeah, you need somebody who's, on set with you kind of going, no. Like, no, George, let's not do that in Star Wars. That you need that on every movie, basically. Somebody who's just like reining you in going, nah, come on.
George, don't make the guys Japanese. But why not? They're not Japanese. They're fucking blah, blah, blah. No, George, they're Japanese.
Like,
stop it.
You're already going to offend Jamaicans with them Gungan fellas.
Yes.
Let's not also do Japanese.
You're already taking the piss, George, please.
Speaking, though, of taking the piss and just like kind of like bits, the whole sumo guy getting punched in slow motion and the jelly noises, I could have done without that. And the wibble wobble wibble, he's fat, so he's like losing. I don't know. I just thought, like, what a shame that they went there.
There you go.
It's Van Damme, innit?
Yeah, this would be funny.
It'd be funny because you see he's fat and he's not like me. Look at my muscles. Especially how it happened.
So no poster art and stuff.
No, sadly. Yeah, not much love out there. I do like the that specially done piece of art for the DVD, though. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, but I also think, cheeky bastards. Because you look at that box art and you think, oh, fucking hell, that looks great. That's going to be a good film about some tournament. I
mean, to be fair to them, that's a company called Retro Gold. I'll talk about them in a minute. That's like one of 4 different box arts they had. So they always do multiple variants and stuff. So.
Right.
They're also putting out that they put out Black Eagle and and an awesome special edition of the first Naruto Surrender soon as well, in like 8 variants media books.
Jesus,
very rare. So yeah, that Blu-ray from Germany, a company called Retro Gold 63. The original release was a media book with a few variants, but they're all sold out now. But the standard Blu-ray is only £18 at the minute. In that with that cover art and the original cover art on there, which we were just talking about, which I've never liked because you can just tell that the picture of Van Damme is the exact same picture used on Time Cop.
Yeah, it's again, it's like it's very representative of the movie. Really, I suppose it's like strange that they did that. Like all that money they spent, but then they couldn't just get a promotional shot from this film.
Like, a cool poster, yeah.
Yeah, very strange.
Like, that's what I was saying. It's like it seems like a passion project. Van Damme's directing it himself. And he just goes, just take that image of like a pagoda and bang me face from Time Cop.
Yeah, and it's like
weird.
It's not representative of the movie.
No.
Like, I don't know what you'd have on the poster, but probably something closer to that DVD cover. Like, something, a shot of the ring, something about martial arts, just an idea of what the movie's about.
Even just like a collage, like you can have Roger Moore and him on the boat in the bottom corner, him fighting in the middle against the main bad guy.
Yeah.
The dragon statue over on the left, something like that. Like a big collage of different stuff in the movie.
Yeah, very strange. But we're well deep into the era of don't care anymore about movie posters.
Cut and paste big face posters.
Yeah.
But the Blu-ray contains a couple of short making-ofs, an interview with Van Damme, Roger Moore that are quite short. Long interviews with Sheldon Lettich, Van Damme's son Christopher Van Damme, who was in the movie playing young Van Damme.
Loved him, yeah.
And Abdel Kissi, who played Khan.
Yeah, there you go. Buy it if you've got a shitload of money and hate yourself.
You didn't even say that about Black Eagle.
No, I know. I'm just going really harsh.
Are you just super annoyed with the quest? Has it really irked you?
I think the most disappointing thing about the quest is there's so much potential.
Yeah.
It's like Van Damme at his like peak of physical condition, mate. Well, maybe not peak, I guess. I don't know, but he certainly looks good. I think he's got the budget and the reputation to pull it off. And like he could have pulled all these martial artists together and just done like Bloodsport Mark II.
It could have, because essentially the story is exactly the same as Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Minus the whole, sold into slavery thing.
It's
but other
got
than that,
more street clowns.
Yeah. And poor Louis Mandela, who's stuck with the most cliched gangster character at the start. Like, hey, give me my money, you muck.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
he's like, I always like him and stuff, but in this, like, it's like Van Damme gave him like loads of cheesy old gangster movies and went, do that.
Yeah.
Do exactly that. Don't fucking tone it down. I want that.
Just remember that a child gets shot in this movie as well.
Yeah. And also, how come he just went back to America with the cops after him, the mob after him, and saved the kids? Like, that feels like another thing that's completely unexplained and missed out as well. Yeah. At the end, he's like, so what happened? I went back to America, saved all the beds, was champion. And then it just ends.
Like, but when you wanted and stuff.
Yeah, when you wanted for, like, theft and, It was years ago, fuck it.
Yeah, the police forget if you do that. If you just leave it long enough, they just kind of, it's alright.
Well, I mean, he did leave as Jean-Claude Van Damme and, like I said, came back, Rolly Birkin QC. So
He
probably
did.
didn't fucking recognise him.
I guess, is he supposed to be, what's the significance of that bar as well? Is he supposed to be like where the kids used to hang out?
There is none. They just thought it would be cool to bookend it with old Van Damme to make it seem epic, but it's like, it's 90 minutes. And like I said, it feels like an epic in need of a runtime.
Yeah, it does.
Champion Cinema.
So, Maximum Risk. I can't wrap my head around the fact that this came out the same year.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
And then you had, Street Fighter in 94?
Yeah.
It was a busy fucking.
Oh, was that 94 as well?
94, 95?
Yeah, it was 94 because then Sudden Death was 95. Yeah.
Yeah, so crazy release schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, it hit the theatres in 1996 with a run hour of 1 hour 41 minutes. Directed by, making his American directorial debut, I believe, Ringo Lam.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Of course, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme as Alain. Alain Moreau, I think it is. Natasha Henstridge as Alex. John Hughes Anglade as Sebastien. Zach Grenier as man with dodgy Russian accent. Ivan Zazakov.
Here we go.
Butchered that. Paul Ben Victor as Agent Pellman. Frank Senger as Agent Loomis. And Stefanos Miltsakakis as Redface.
Glad you said that because I was going to try and pronounce that later. I was like, yeah, he's going to pronounce it first, didn't he?
Got that in there.
Yeah.
So, what is The Maximum Risk about?
The Maximum Risk. When a French cop discovers that a recently dead lookalike turns out to be a long-lost twin brother, he follows the trail his brother left back to New York, where he gets mixed up with the Russian gangsters and the FBI. He also gets mixed up with his brother's missus, and by mixed up, I mean full sex in the bathroom.
He likes doing that.
He does love a bit of... what the fuck's the word I'm looking for? I don't fucking know. It's too...
What, like mistaken identity, sort of?
No, I meant as far as his love scenes go. He loves the passionate. You can definitely tell he's Belgian. He loves the passionate love scenes.
He's a bit of a grabby lover.
He's a passionate grabby man.
I was half expecting him to go like when you did it, because he like it looks like he's lining one up basically. He like pulled back a little bit, and I was like, is he good? Oh no, he doesn't do
like
it.
As he enters, he goes.
That's very strange and uncomfortable. Is how I would describe that scene.
Yeah, I mean, how old was Van Damme? Yeah, like mid 30s.
Yeah.
Not that it matters, because
No.
But I think Natasha Henstridge is 21. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd got that young.
Yeah. This was only a second thing she'd ever acted in after Species. It was the year after Species.
Wow,
So that was like, shit, she's good. Like, it's a second movie, and just that young, I was like, she's really fucking good.
I always forget that. Like, in my head, I always have Natasha Henstridge has like an accent. You know, like Gal Gadot and something, like really like some sort of accent. But then I forget, like, she's just Canadian, basically. So I don't know why in my head I just think she's like got some sort of European accent or something.
Yeah, you're not mixing her up with someone else from around this time.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'm trying to think what her accent is in like Species. I think it's a non-specific, because she hasn't got like loads of dialogue in Species.
Although I actually don't think I've ever seen Species. You know.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm gonna have to do that.
I always saw it and went, that looks like too much of a land down film.
Totally. God, I like rented that and watched it like 100 times or something.
I can imagine.
Last time I watched Species, I was like, fuck me, how many times did I watch this? I remember every scene.
Oh, that's the film you were telling us about like last year sometime with like the HR Giga train that's in it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
spent like 3 years making it.
Yeah, literally spent like $30,000 on it or something, and it's like a split second into the movie.
It's like, HR, we don't want your fucking giant penis train in the movie, please. Stop spending your money.
Yeah, he like funded it. At the end, he funded out of his own money, I think, because the studio refused to pay for it.
Bless him.
But anyway.
But yeah, as I said, Ringo Lam's debut in America. But unlike John Woo, he didn't come over and just make a bunch of movies. Yeah, he kind of went back and forth. But mainly stayed in Hong Kong, really. He didn't make it a permanent move. I think Van Damme wanted to work with him. This was just the period after this where he made Hard Target with John Woo, this with Ringo Lam, then like Knock Off and Double Team with Choi Hawk, and then another one with Ringo Lam. He was just bringing over all the Hong Kong directors to
Very
work
cool.
with.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm just going to say this. I really like this film.
It's good, isn't it? It's a good movie, yeah. It's one that's kind of like, it's like sudden death in that it's in that like period people forget about.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite underrated, yeah.
I think it's really well acted by Van Damme. I think it feels very different. It feels almost like it's some sort of like European movie. Which obviously is.
I just think that's the Ringo Lam influence, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And things make sense in this film. I think it's a breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like stuff happens and you feel like, that kind of would happen.
Yeah.
We'll get to it, but there's just a few points in the movie where I thought, that's very different. I wasn't expecting it to go that way.
Because when you talk about feeling different, like the one thing that sticks out compared to most Van Damme films really is the fight scenes. Like there's no slow motion, there's no Van Damme beauty shots. So I don't know what Ringo Lam said to Van Damme to convince him of that. Considering 3 years earlier he was like, John, get the special slow motion camera for my biceps. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, like did they just put it in the small print in his contract and he didn't notice and signed it or something? Tricked him.
Because like all the fight scenes are just like down, dirty, fast, gritty, violent, and that just keeps. I was just like, that's the Ringo Lam effect, because that's kind of what always, like when you think back in the day when we used to watch like these movies for the first time, like the 90s and stuff, it would always felt like the hierarchy was John Woo, Ringo Lam. Just below him. But like they're not the same. Like Ringo Lam was never a flashy, he's not as stylish as John Woo, but he does have kind of a way of, he's got a down and dirty, gritty, realistic vibe to him in some of his movies. Well, kind of, because I was thinking about this last night when I was watching the movie. I was like, it's funny how when like you could show someone bullet in the head and then the killer and then go, do you think these were directed by the same person? They'd go, yeah, probably. If you showed someone prison on fire and then full contact, they'd go, no. Two totally different people.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Because there was a bit in this that reminded it was like kind of down and dirty, gritty Ringo Lam for most of it. And then there's that shot at the end, moment at the end when Van Damme like bullseyes the guy in the truck from miles away with the handgun.
And you hear that suddenly John Woo.
And you hear that. No, I was going to say it's really Ringo Lam, because you hear that you hear that guitar noise, like go wow out of nowhere. And I was like, that's straight out of Full Contact. He should have shown the actual bullet like in that movie as well.
I just thought you were going to say like, because it does kind of go super flashy with it.
Oh,
like,
it does.
You know,
it does. Yeah.
The zoom in and the bullet and stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed all the action. It's not a super action packed movie. It's more like scuffles. No. It's not your typical Van Damme getting chances to do like these big kicks and stuff.
No, but I think it kind of benefits from a similar feel to Nowhere to Run, really, because there isn't much action in the movie. I think when there is action, it kind of like it stands out and it does well for it. Because there's like the fire stunt bit towards the start of the movie that feels like quite good.
Yeah, I was going to say a second Van Damme movie where he used to rescue someone from a burning building. Do you think Van Damme had little dreams of becoming a fireman as a lad?
Quite possibly. Yeah. Just likes playing around with fire. Little arsonist. But I think that there's a real highlight in the movie when he like jumps in front of the train. Just thinking about that scene. Like that's a really crazy, not fighting, but it's like a crazy action scene. And I thought, wow, that bit is really well done. When he, like, I guess it was an effect.
Oh yeah.
But it looks really good. It holds up really well. Yeah. And then when he like when the guy gets hit by the train, straight after it looks brutal.
It's one of those like when people use dummies well, it looks brutal.
The speed that the dummy goes down.
Yeah.
But I just when there's moments of action, they just really stand out as being cool. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. It's a nice pace change, basically, to the movie.
I did chuckle at that bit, though, after the train bit where he, like, falls through the tracks under the police car. And it's just classic, like, no, the way New York cops are always portrayed in movies, like, no nonsense. The guy just fell like 30 feet from a bridge and he's like, who are you trying to be? Peter Pan, get the fuck out of here, you're under arrest.
Yeah, Peter Pan, I did clock that line. Genius. Like, was that just ad-libbed or something?
Like, not like, fucking hell, you're right. He's just like, get out of here, white guy. What did you think of his little cabbie sidekick that he had? He fucking reminded me of Andrew Robinson.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I was thinking, like, getting Deadpool vibes as well.
Yeah.
Deadpool, he's got, like, a little taxi, sidekick.
I just don't think his sad death was earned. He should have died late. He should have died way later.
You beat us to it. I was going to say, like, very sad his death, but kind of cheap because it's like, it just doesn't feel like it has the impact it should. And I think, putting it later in the movie and having him, like, really heroically sacrifice himself probably would have worked better.
He should have survived that scene, which would have made Van Damme trust him more. Like, fuck, you just saved my life. And then he dies later. Maybe like one of the FBI guys shoot him or something like that. You know what I mean? So, because when he's dying, Van Damme's like welling up and stuff. I'm like going, it's very sad, but you barely know this guy.
You've literally just ran into him for a day at this point. And he's just some weird cookie like taxi driver.
Yeah.
Very strange.
But I like this character though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I thought it worked. And I think it just done in a different way, it probably would have played out a lot better.
Yeah.
Basically.
What did you think of the Red Heat inspired steam room fight?
What is it with just fucking Russians and towels and bathhouses
and
stuff?
Like steam rooms, I think. Apparently.
Yeah. It made us think of isn't there like that shit's in the Keanu Reeves movie? I don't know what it's called. The one where he's like some assassin. Fucking the one they've made 100 of them.
Oh, John Wick.
John Wick. That's it. My brain was only giving us Johnny Mnemonic.
Probably. I think most of the bad guys in that film, all those films are Eastern European. So probably. Yeah,
I'm sure there's like some sort of bathhouse scene in one of those movies.
Yeah.
Where they're all like in towels.
What's your favourite bathhouse? I thought I felt like I had a lisp there. What's your favourite bathhouse fight scene?
Is there one? I'm trying to think. I feel like I've seen that in a lot of movies where people are like in towels. And, like, do Bond movies happen a lot in bathhouses? I feel like they might do.
There's that one in fucking Showdown Little Tokyo, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's right.
There's the really grim, violent one in Eastern Promises where Viggo Mortensen's balls are flying all over the place. Remember that?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, there's quite a few films, isn't there?
Yeah, Hollywood loved that.
Imagery. Need to do a theme month just on that.
top 5 semi-erotic bathhouse fights.
Yeah, 'cause it's quite a greasy fight that though, wasn't it?
It
That
is.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Van Damme just full on was like, grease me up.
Yeah, he just poured a whole pint of baby oil on him. Yeah. But yeah, that other guy, that's I'm going to try it. Stefanos Miltsakakis, I'm going to say. I recognise him from Cyborg. He's one of Fender's gang in Cyborg. But looking through his filmography, he's also in The Quest. I didn't recognise him in The Quest. He plays the Greek fighter, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I wouldn't have said that.
No, I remember that guy being a bit smaller. Maybe he just trimmed down in the years. But although no, it's the fucking same year.
Yeah. They're just well shot, so it made him look bigger or something.
It just made him look shorter and like less buff. If that's the guy I'm thinking of, anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, he was a good foil in the movie.
Oh yeah, he's Russian Terminator basically. Yeah.
And I'll say it now. I think quite possibly my favourite scene, the elevator fight.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah.
I think then more to what we were talking about before, Ringo Lam and just that gritty realism. Like,
oh yeah,
what a well done fight.
Yeah.
The pair of them just fight to the death.
Yeah.
But it isn't all like, they just grab onto each other and fumble about and bite each other.
Try to stab each other, basically.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck, that's like really brutal.
That's like a fight that, when you look at it now, it almost seems a bit ahead of its time because that's what all fights in movies are like now.
Yeah,
like
all
really
elbows and stuff. And
chokehold elbows and vicious stabbing. That's what people love now. So yeah, if you've never seen this movie and you like The Raid and John Wick, you might like this.
Yeah.
The bit in particular that I fucking hated was when he flips the knife around and basically just stabs into his toes.
Yeah, he like back kicks it.
Back kicks the knife into these tips of his toes. Fuck me.
And it's like,
yeah, it's such a good sell.
That's it. You bastard.
Yeah, it's a brutal fight though. Yeah, I was honestly expecting the way he like kicks the handrail off. I thought, fuck, he's just going to stab him with the handrail. But no.
Yeah. No, it's really good. And like for me, definitely the highlight of the movie.
It's a really cool scene.
How it's done.
I like the bit where he just beats the fuck out of that poor bald mafia guy.
Yeah, that like mini Kingpin. I made in me notes.
Yes, it's a Kingpin Junior. Yeah, yeah. When he comes to the house, like because he's already battered the other guy, and he comes, he just beats the absolute shit out of him. Yeah,
it's kind of like the comic relief, but until he gets like blown away.
Yeah.
Almost. But yeah, what about? So I mentioned obviously when I was lining up the movie, Zach Renier's like accent. Did you catch some of his accent, or did you not really notice it?
Is he the main guy, like the main bad guy?
Yeah,
with
the
the
main
goatee?
bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he always seems to play guys like this in movies.
Yes.
Is he a bit like this? Oh, in comedies, playing goofier versions of guys like this?
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
it came and went.
Like, so I'm more familiar with him from the TV show The Good Fight.
Oh, yeah.
He plays like one of the main lawyers, and he's just one of them guys that has a very like drawly American accent when he's like acting in something that doesn't demand he does a daft accent.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like, imagine like seeing like Peter Kay, but he's like suddenly Scottish or something. Your brain just wouldn't accept it. You'd be like, "Fuck off." I mean, God, had that problem when he did that TV show and he played a Cockney. I think Peter Kay, and it was like my brain was just like, "Nope." Like Peter Kay is not a Cockney, not accepting it.
Peter, stop acting.
So it's kind of like that with this, but with the added the accent. I think there was one bit where he was all like, he said "sweetheart" basically, but he said it in like an American accent, and I just pissed myself because he was like, I can't remember the line, but he was saying something like, "Darling, come over here," and he's like, "Sweetheart," and it's just like,
well,
shit, it's slipped.
you don't know how long that character's been in New York.
Yeah,
It's rubbing off on him,
maybe.
you see. The accent.
That's a canon.
Yeah, it's canon. That's my head canon, as I like to say.
But other than that, I do like the guy, Zach Renier. I think he's a good bad guy. Actor.
He's one of those guys that whenever he turns up in something, I'm always like, "Oh, it's him from," and I can never remember. And I always feel bad 'cause he's just one of quote unquote those guys.
Yeah, he gets in stuff.
Yeah. I'll tell you some little highlights. I liked the fact that the big FBI guy looked like Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Yes, it did, yeah.
Yeah, I just kept every time he popped up, I kept chuckling. I was like, kept thinking it's Kevin James about to say something daft.
They're like kind of useless as well, aren't they? Those FBI agents.
Oh yeah. You got to always have the useless cops on the take characters. Yeah. And another little thing I like was a place to pull up next to in New York called Little House of Kebabs, and I was like, oh.
I did see that written on the wall. Yeah. The Zanzibar place as well, I should mention, just made us think of, like, that looked proper 90s.
Oh, yeah.
That club.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so many films in the 90s had, like, some, like, trendy nightclub scene. And they're just dead horrific.
I know, but I fucking love a nightclub scene. Especially love a nightclub fight / shootout for some reason. I don't know why.
The glass getting shot and stuff.
Yeah, all the lights and shit. But yeah, I would recommend this one, though, to people that have maybe passed it by.
I genuinely had a good time. I think it's paced well. It's really well acted. The action's good. I think Natasha Henstridge does like a great job in it and stuff.
Yeah.
Although she does have like an awful line at one point where she says, she's talking about like a career progression, and she says, "I used to be I don't know if she says stripper or dancer. She might say
I think
dancer.
she says dancer. Yeah.
But she says, I'm like, she's kind of like, not a waitress, but she's like a host, sort of. A hostess,
I know.
whatever.
She says, like, I make less money, but it's more respectable or something.
Yeah, and I just always think, why does America have to do that? Fucking throw shade on, like, people that are like strippers and stuff.
It's a job. Yeah.
Exactly. They're like, fuck me, the human beings, like, you've got a good body and they're making money out of it.
Yeah.
Let them be.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it is a bit shit. It's like that line. It was just like, I'm not fucking. I'm not that anymore.
Yeah, it's like, well, poor people that like would watch this and think, that's what I do right now.
Yeah, just having a go at people like that, basically. Yeah. Do you think as well, like, considering what the plot is, that, like, I don't think it was at any point, but just if you tweaked it a little bit, it would be a really dark sequel to Double Impact of, like, Chad having to go after Alex's murderers and stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Alex got himself in too deep and ended up dead. And then start the movie and everyone's like, what?
Yeah, because it does have, like, similar, like beats about it, like brothers
separated,
like different lives. It even has the like going to another country and being mistakenly kissed
by the girlfriend.
So it's like there are similar beats to it and stuff.
I'll tell you one thing, I did really like the scene where he listens to the tape his brother left him. That was some nice bit of acting from Van Damme. It was genuinely sad.
I think that's why I keep thinking, like, really well acted by Van Damme, because of that scene, you're like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like noticeable emotion on his face.
And he doesn't go overboard. It's very subtle, but it's realistic. It's really good. I always fucking hate. I mean, there's certain times in Van Damme movies where he, like, delivers a line weird or stilted or something, but, like, I've always thought emoting, he's always really good. Even in, like, Kickboxer and Bloodsport and stuff back in the early days.
I think that, he's like a really good facial actor for, like, you know, I mean, sometimes it's like funny over the top when he's pulling them like faces and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think he always does really well with his face when he's like just doing a scene, like jumping around, moving about. He doesn't just look like deadpan or anything.
Like I said, he would have been a good wrestler. He could sell as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
he could. Definitely.
So is that it?
Yeah, I'm sure there was something else. Oh, it's better. Sweaty man fight, I wrote at one point. When the FBI guys take him to France, I guess the film does redeem itself, to be fair. But wouldn't he just immediately arrest them when he got to like France? When he's like, "Yeah, I'm like, it's my jurisdiction now, fuckers. You're under arrest." I don't know. I'm just not sure he would like go along with it that long.
Yeah.
But having said that, which ties into what I was saying about this movie goes places I wasn't kind of expecting. I really like the fact that he does eventually just kind of go, you know what? I'm just gonna like call me police friends and you're under arrest, you fuckers.
Yeah,
You know, we're in France and I'm a police officer,
Yeah,
a French police officer.
Yeah.
And the bad guy, the FBI guys don't die as well. You know, they get shot in the legs, but they get arrested. It's like, bloody hell. I was expecting them to be like, basically I was expecting, because we should probably set up the end scene randomly happens in like an abattoir with like loads of like pork body hanging up.
Yeah.
Because they have like a bit of a car chase and then they crash through a wall and they just happen to be in an abattoir. And I don't know, I was expecting the movie to end with like Van Damme being all like, you know, "It booked up" or something, or fucking throw out like some sort of comedy line.
This little piggy went to Macca.
Exactly.
This little piggy went to jail.
Yeah. Fucking some crack about sausages or something. And they'll be like, "Oh, you're bacon," and something. And they'll be like, "Oh, fuck." But it's restrained and it doesn't do that. And then the bad guys get arrested. So I was like, fuck me.
Because the cops, he could just be like hanging out in the shadows, be like, "I smell pig."
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think Hollywood has just trained me to like expect the worst.
I want to dub that. I want to find some AI Van Damme voice and just dub shitty one-liners in it. It booked up.
Especially because like one of the FBI guys was like a little bit rotund and stuff.
Oh yeah, he was Paul Blart, yeah.
I thought it was going there, but it just didn't. So I was like, fuck.
I'll tell you what, it gets a bit crazy with the guy coming at him with a chainsaw and just sawing like pig carcasses up. And then it does get a bit John Woo when he hangs upside down on that fucking hook and blows him away.
Yeah, like it's on like a rail.
Yeah.
And there is actually another thing about Van Damme, which I think, again, like, it does some quite surprising, realistic things.
Yeah.
He has, like, a bruised face the entire movie.
Yeah, I noticed that. I kept thinking that throughout the whole movie. I was like, that bruise has stayed. I was thinking, by day 20, was Van Damme just like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Number 5 to get his makeup done and stuff.
Well, you know, it gives the movie, like, a realistic timeline. Like, it happens over the course of, like, a couple of days.
Yeah, because I do always hate that in movies where someone gets, like, bashed in the face and by, like, 2 scenes later, it's cleared up a little bit.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, credit to this movie for doing things that kind of make sense and are quite realistic. Like, I was calling the movie out for being bullshit numerous times.
Yeah.
But then it would call me out but like I was wrong, you know. Like there's a bit when he gives the security deposit box to like the little bank helper guy, and he's like, "Oh, take this to like the embassy."
Yeah.
And I was like, would you just do that? Because like, how could you trust him to like fucking take that to the embassy? That seems like a bit of a gamble.
Yeah.
But then in the very next scene, he's like, he's been murdered by the bad guy, and it's like, oh right, no, that's what they were doing. They were setting up like that was actually a bad choice to do, sort of thing. So, and that just it seemed to happen throughout the movie a few times. Like I said, the arrest thing, where I was like, wouldn't you just arrest him? Like fucking, you're in France now and you're a police officer.
Yeah.
But then he just does kind of do that ultimately. Yeah. So yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
But I think that's like I said, that's the like Ringo Lam sort of Chinese sort of influence of like things have to happen and have rhyme and reason, and like bad guys have to get caught.
Yeah.
And stuff, and you know that I kind of like it for that.
Yeah, I was going to say before, like obviously Van Damme did a couple more movies with Ringo Lam. He did Replicant, which I've never seen, but that's another movie I think with the two Van Dammes.
I'll have to check it out.
I've always wanted to say it's got Michael Rooker in it as well. It's another reason I've always wanted to say it. And In Hell, which is probably my favourite of his movies he did with Ringo Lam.
Yeah,
I love In Hell.
I enjoyed In Hell, yeah, definitely.
And sadly, of course, Ringo Lam passed away in 2018 from cancer.
Yeah, of course.
anyone not familiar with like Hong Kong stuff, I'd highly recommend watching like the On Fire. It's not a trilogy, but separate movies. But the On Fire series: City on Fire, Prison on Fire, School on Fire, and of course Full Contact because it's mental.
Yeah, that's a good film. Full Contact.
One of our favourite bad subtitles in the old version about the vomiting crab.
Oh yeah.
One of the most funny but disgusting mistranslated lines ever in a movie. Where she's like trying to show him, trying to show Chai and Fat panties. Just like, hey, look. And he's like, no, thank you. I think I saw a vomiting crab.
Yeah, it's like,
But as for the Blu-ray, 88 Films put it out in their Van Damme series. The only extra is an audio commentary from Action Cinema aficionado and game producer Audie Solly. When's someone going to fucking ask us to do an audio commentary, sir?
I know. We could smash it.
I want to fucking release this scene now, and it's like fucking some podcast doing a comedy. I'm like,
like,
excuse me.
We don't even always eat kebabs when we're doing podcasts.
Not always. And if you ask we're not to, we will.
Which I always think back to and think, why did we eat a kebab while doing a comedy?
Because it had fucked up so many times. That's why when I put that comedy up, it's the 45-minute fucking abbreviated version, because half of it was just us going, breathing through my nose, eating fucking meat. But yeah, it's funny because the Blu-ray I've got's like a very early Blu-ray from like 2008. And it's just funny looking at it because half the packaging is just hyping up how great Blu-ray is. Some of those old posters.
Yeah.
The highest clarity of image, you're holding the future in your hands. And I'm like, calm the fuck down. I turned the box around the back and it's all like, you can see Van Damme's ass in 1080p.
Like loads of like silver like comments and stuff.
Yes. It's
high-tech font.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, they were really pushing it. But I guess then around that time, that would have been the HD DVD Blu-ray war, wouldn't it? So,
Yeah. Oh, bless them.
But I guess there's no other art for maximum release.
No, it's a shame because I think it deserves it, and I think that it's one that I definitely would rewatch, and I probably will buy the Blu-ray.
Yeah, but like I only first watched it for the first time like 10 years ago when I picked it up, that Blu-ray up cheap, because I'd never saw it at the time, and I was blown away by I was not blown away, but I was surprised. I was like, fuck, this is so good. Why did I just miss out on this the first time?
Yeah. I've seen that, wait a minute. I've got it on Blu-ray, haven't I? Just remembered. Shit.
Oh, did you buy it in the sale?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, shit.
I just remembered. Hey, first world problems.
Oh, I didn't realise I had it in my mountain of Blu-rays.
Oopsie daisy. But yeah, no, it's a good film, and I think it's a shame that it's been a trend of these movies where there isn't like a great deal of like love for them. These films,
no,
in terms of like collectibles and posters and stuff. And it's a shame
because when 88 Films announced all the Van Damme movies they were releasing a few years ago, it was like cool Cyborg, awesome. And then it was like the others were like Nowhere to Run, Maximum Risk. Then at first I was like, it's a shame. I was hoping to do a Bloodsport or Kickbox, but I'm like, no, that is good that those films at least are getting Blu-ray releases, like updated transfers and stuff. Because there is some gems in there in this period of his filmography.
Yeah, bless him. The guy, he was trying. He was doing like different things and stuff.
And as well, like you just compare all of Van Damme, even the films Van Damme made that aren't that good, at least they're all a bit different, unlike Steven Seagal, who just made the same movie for 35 years, basically.
Yeah, oh Christ. I mean, yeah, he's head and shoulders above, like, the quality of Seagal, really, like, at this point.
Yeah. I'm going to piss off some metal fans. Van Damme is Metallica, Seagal is Slayer. And I like Slayer, but I'm just saying, they've got two albums, the fast one, the slow one. No, I'm just joshing.
See, I wouldn't even go there. That's too much that way. It's too risky that
I like
way.
Slayer more than I like Seagal, put it that way.
I'm going to say Seagal's like Limp Bizkit and fucking Van Damme Sepultura, something like that.
There you go. That's more extreme, but accurate. So that brings Van Damage July to a close. Next month, we begin a month-long journey into outer space and killer aliens in preparation for Alien Romulus, which we'll hopefully be reviewing at the end of the month. Yeah,
I look forward to it. I think the trailer's shaping up quite nicely. I
think it looks promising, definitely.
Don't watch the final trailer if you haven't yet, just because it basically summarises the entire movie.
Yeah, because that first teaser was pretty like, oh, what's this about even? What didn't show the alien much at all, I don't think, in the original trailer. No. They've got to put out the condensed version of the movie trailer. So yeah, just avoid that one, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And the Aliens franchise, God, I could just shut one of them franchises right and just shut my eyes and press play in my brain and see the entire film play out in my head. So I've seen it that many times.
So next week we're going to start with the two classics, Alien and Aliens, and then the next week we're going to do a couple of cash-ins / rip-offs with Contamination and Inseminoid. Then we're going to do Alien 3, Alien Resurrection the week after that, and then the week after that, hopefully, a sum-up of the films we can't be asked to talk about, like AVP, Prometheus, etc.
Yeah, well, I mean, Chris, I was going to crack a joke there and just say, like, yeah, we'll do Alien 3 and Resurrection, because it's a shame they never did any of the Alien films after that.
True.
Never went back to that well.
And then hopefully, after capping them off in that episode, we'll be talking about Romulus.
Yes.
So it'll be good.
Yeah.
Hasn't been that long since I watched Alien Aliens, but, it's always good to see them again.
Yeah, definitely. And good to, like, see how, our perspectives change over the years and stuff, because we've talked about, these films before and stuff.
Yeah.
Alien and Aliens. I don't think we've done Alien 3 and Resurrection.
We did them all up to Prometheus last time we covered them. Sure. That was, like, early on in the show. It was, like, my first show that was, like, over fucking 3 hours long. And it took me, like, a week to edit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's one of the ones that got deleted.
Ah, grim.
It's in the first 50. I mean, I've got it somewhere, but we'll just do them again.
I imagine, like, it's not like my viewpoint on the movies has shifted a great deal.
Probably not. Probably not mine either. Yeah.
So it would be like a fascinating comparison or anything.
Yeah.
I'll just say what I always say about those movies, but I'll always talk about Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
I'm just sure we're a lot better at getting my thoughts across.
Yeah, true.
I'm sure we'll listen back to that episode and say, I like the bit where the alien and we're like, oh, fucking hell, why do we sound 12?
Oh, like, we'll just sum up the entire movie, basically. We're like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger doing a commentary or something.
The alien, he's gonna get him.
That's like, that was just our style for like many years, where we just blow by blow. Sometimes I kind of enjoyed it, but I think, I think
certain films call for a blow by blow, scene by scene review, depending on the film. But eventually we just got into a habit of doing that for every movie, and it took fucking forever sometimes to get through a show. Especially when the movie was like 2.5 hours long, like the Aliens movies and stuff.
Classic.
A fucking Terminator show where each review was like 80 minutes. It was like almost 3 hours long.
I take full responsibility for that. I was like, I wanted to talk through every fucking scene in detail.
Yeah, it was totally your fault.
I just dragged you through that.
I'm like, oh, okay.
I fucking like the Terminator films, but not that much.
I can have some food first. All right, so until then, folks, you can catch us on Instagram at Champion Cinema Pod. Go and rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify. We're on YouTube and what's another place?
The podcast addict.
Did I say Spotify?
I'm just making things.
That is a place, though.
Is it?
It's an app. Yeah. And Spotify. Yeah, I think I already said that. So, until we head off with the aliens next week, I'll see you there in a bit.
See you in the heap.
Bye.
Champion Cinema.